Today in my video, I would like to talk about manipulation in toxic relationships, how to recognize different methods that your partner is using and how to prevent that, how to stop that manipulation, or at least how to respond to that in order to protect yourself. For those who are new to my channel, my name is Kristina J. I am relationship, life purpose, confidence, and happiness life coach, helping emotionally abused women to break free from toxic relationships and to create more desirable future for themselves. So what is manipulation? Well, manipulation is the art of controlling people or circumstances by indirect, unfair, or deceptive means, especially to one's advantage. Emotional manipulators want what they want, when they want it, as much as they want it, and feel entitled and justified in getting it, regardless if it hurts you, your children, family, or even themselves in the long run. Manipulation, unfortunately, happens a lot in an unhealthy, toxic, or abusive relationships, and happens to those of us who are more forgiving, caring, kind, tender-hearted, people-pleasing, and allowing others to have access, control over them. Someone who manipulates you knows what your weaknesses are and will use those weaknesses against you. For instance, a person who is manipulative might use strategies like lying and gaslighting, being passive aggressive, giving you the silent treatment, among others, all in order to get you to believe that you are in the wrong and he is right. So let's look into some ways your partner might be manipulating you. And I will cover some of the points from the book that I just recently read, and that's by June Hunt, Manipulation, Cutting the Strings of Control. And it's just a little book, but very good insight on manipulation. So let's look into some of the ways your partner might be manipulating you. First one, it could be that he's using threats, yelling or slamming things, yelling to apply that pressure, yelling to publicly humiliate you, yelling to intimidate, yelling at you just to unnerve, and you are kind of like his emotional punch bag. Or could be that he's slamming drawers, doors, phones, books. Well, manipulative partner implies if you do not do what I want, I'll make you wish you had. If you cannot hear me shouting out and do not meet my expectations, you do not even deserve to be yelled at. I will make my point in other ways. And that other way would be like slamming, bamming. Now, number two, it could be that he is using lots of shoulds to make you feel guilty. You should make me happy, you should submit to your husband, you should not complain about me spending time with my friends, you should show me respect, or you should not ask me to help you around the house because I'm so tired. You should not complain about me going to eat out all by myself in the evening without you. So those should and shouldn't, they are used to make you feel guilty. And manipulator is saying, if you do not meet my expectations, you are guilty of neglect. Another manipulative tactic could be that a partner is using lots of sarcasm, and that would be like using cutting humor and stabbing words, put downs, and mocking. And manipulator implies, if you are not what I want you to be, I will use words to hurt you. Number four, sly suggestions. Example, my friend's wife is encouraging him to go out with his friends anytime he wants, for as long as he wants. He's so lucky to have such a caring wife. Mary never asks her husband where he spends his money. It is so nice to have such a trusting wife. Or, Elizabeth understands that if my friend is tired after the working day, he should just rest and she should not bother him with the house chores. That I call caring. Or, My friend's wife has forgiven him multiple affairs and saved the marriage. It is really rare to see a woman who is not giving up on the relationship that easy. So manipulator, making those sly suggestions is implying that you have to meet my every need. And if you don't, I'll really make you feel guilty. Number 5, being sympathy seeker. So speaking and acting very needy, having pity parties, speaking and acting childlike and helpless, that is another manipulative tactic that your abusive partner or manipulative partner can use in your relationship. And then he is implying that you should take care of him, his needs, his heart, and if you do not, you are just plainly cold-hearted and cruel woman. Number 6, using silent treatment. So that is ignoring you, not speaking to you for days or weeks, coldly turning away from you, withdrawing sex, not answering your phone calls or texts. And the manipulator implies, if you do not do what I want you to do, you do not get my approval, my communication, you are not getting me. Number 7, using suppressed support. So that would be like withholding different compliments, gifts, affection, his presence, and implying that if you do not meet his standards, you will not get any of his attention. Or on the other hand, manipulator could be very generous and extra kind to get what he wants to get. And that would be number 8, like he's showering you with compliments. So that would be like excessive praise and excessive gifts to create that sense of obligation, excessive money to buy control, excessive affection to gain a sexual or emotional advantage. And in this case, manipulator implies, if you do not respond to my generosity by doing what I want you to do, then you are an ungrateful woman. So a manipulator or your toxic partner knows those your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities, and will use all of these to plainly manipulate you in your relationship. So manipulative partner knows that maybe you are afraid of disapproval and you cannot say no for fear of making someone angry at you, or you are afraid of being rejected, or he knows that your worth is based on pleasing others, or you do not have any strong boundaries, or you are never giving up on the relationship and you are not seeing it as an unhealthy one. Or maybe you are the one that always is seeing good in people and excusing their poor behaviors. Or maybe your partner knows that you are financially dependent on him. Or maybe he knows that you have very strong Christian values and you are very forgiving. These are nice things to have, and nice character traits to be caring and forgiving, and demonstrating that extra love to your partner, never giving up on relationship. But again, your partner might use all these things to make you feel guilty and use them as your weaknesses when they could be your strengths. And this way he will make you feel guilty, obligated, or fearful, and use all the manipulative tactics to get from you what he wants in his relationship with you. Toxic partners are master manipulators. They manipulate you into an unhealthy relationship from the very beginning of your dating, and they continue to use those tactics all the way through your marriage or your life together. And if you are right now in that awakening stage and you understood that you are in a toxic relationship, or you were in a toxic relationship and you wanted some changes, he will manipulate you into doubting yourself and staying with him. If you, let's say, separated from him, he will manipulate you and others to believe that you were here in the wrong and that he was trying to be better now and he wants to save that relationship. Therefore, you need to get back. Or in some cases, even if two people divorce and already end the relationship, even after that, manipulative partner or ex-partner would not let you live your normal life and will use different manipulative techniques with your children or your family or your friends to still somehow have power and control over you, even though you are not in a relationship with him anymore. So you need to learn the ways how to protect yourself from being manipulated, whether it is in your relationship present now or out of the relationship. Maybe you're already separated, maybe you're already divorced, and you're still getting those manipulative attacks from your ex. Most of the times, women in toxic relationships come to that realization that their partner is abusive or manipulative, and they just want to end that, but they feel guilty to break up or cut off the contact with the partner. And sometimes when you think deeper about it, it feels like all that, it's not even making any sense. If that is the person who lies, deceives, yells, cheats, manipulates you, smears your name, does not meet your needs, why do you want to stay with that person? And why do you feel like the mean one and the one who's not really committed to work on this relationship? How is that even logical? How did things get so spun around? Well, you have been manipulated, that's how. And a desperate fear of rejection often paralyzes a person who's trying to make those healthy decisions, and the victim of abuse remains in the toxic and manipulative relationships for years and sometimes decades. So now I want to talk, how can you stand up against a manipulator, or what are the moves that you can possibly take, whether you are in the relationship or just trying to escape it. Number one, examine the methods of the manipulative partner. So ask God to open your eyes so you can see the manipulative tactics. Ask yourself how you are being manipulated. Ask your close friend to help you see your blind spots and develop a plan of action. Number two, decide not to be so dependent on the manipulator. You need to learn to find your true value. Work on your self-esteem. Strengthen your inner core. Decide what you want in your relationship and understand for yourself whether you want to remain in that toxicity or not. Decide not to be so dependent on the manipulator. You need to learn to find your true value. Work on your self-esteem. Strengthen your inner core. Decide what you want in your relationship and understand for yourself whether you want to remain in that toxicity or not. Number three, prepare yourself for some extra pain and expect exasperation from the manipulator. So accept the fact that change will be resisted by the manipulator. Accept the fact that change is painful, whether that change is for you or for your partner. So do not expect your partner to understand you or to agree with your decision. Do not expect the manipulator to acknowledge that he is being manipulative. Do not expect him to be willing to stop his controlling attitudes and set you free. So just prepare yourself for some extra pain and for partner's possible reaction that is not very pleasant. Number four, let the manipulator know that you are working on yourself and you expect the healthy changes from his side as well. It's very important also to acknowledge that you've been in the wrong as well, and say that you have been in the wrong, and say something that I've come to realize that I have been in the wrong. I have related to you. At times I have not spoken up because I was afraid, and this has not been healthy for both of us. State your commitment. You can say something like, I really care about you and I want you to know that I am committed to change, and I believe we can have a healthier relationship if you are willing to put an effort too. Or if you know that the healthy relationship is not possible anymore, the trust has been broken, it has been too much pain in your relationship, you plainly can state that I just cannot continue in this relationship with you anymore and be the happy and healthy version of myself. I cannot be the person that I need to be for God and for others. Number 5, never try to defend yourself. And I know how tempting is that, just to be on that defend mode and try to prove your point, but it's not helping. And in all this process, when you try to stand up against toxicity, when you try to stand up against manipulation, you will be accused of being cold and arrogant and selfish, not loving, not caring. And you need not to defend yourself though. In all that, in the face of all that, you still need not to defend yourself. You may choose to go limited contact or detach emotionally. You may choose to state the truth once or repeat it a few times, but you don't need to defend yourself. You can state something like, I'm sorry you feel this way. What you have said is not true. It does not reflect who I am. Or you may choose to say, I understand that you think I'm being heartless, but my intention is to become healthy. Number 6, shift your focus from meeting all of the manipulator's needs to meeting your own needs and serving others and God. Realize that if you meet all of the manipulator's needs, you will continue in the same old unhealthy patterns, and you will never give a chance to a partner to learn, to change, and grow. So rather, instead of trying to change him, on trying to defend yourself, on trying to prove that you're in the right, he's in the wrong, shift that focus from his needs and your need also to somehow save this marriage, save this relationship, to meeting your own needs, to healing, to strengthening your inner core, serving others and serving God. Just shift that focus, and that helps. Number 7, understand that you do not need the approval or praise from your manipulative partner. You can say positive things about yourself, and you can get all the approval you need from God. You don't need to wait for that approval from your partner. And number 8, it is very important, as in any relationship, to set healthy boundaries, and in this case to set those boundaries with your manipulative partner. So one of the things how you can do that is you can state clearly what you are willing to accept and what not, and do not justify yourself or be apologetic. You can say that you want this relationship to continue, but you are not willing to be controlled, nor you are willing to hear his accusations, nor you are willing to endure his silent treatment or yelling or any other manipulative tactics in the relationship. The other way how you can set the boundary is you need to announce the consequences you will enforce if the manipulator violates your requests. So you probably already know that you cannot change the manipulator's behavior, but you can remove yourself from the exposure to his unacceptable behavior. You can say, I want to spend some time with you, but if you call me names, I will leave for a period of time. Or if you shout at me, I will just plainly leave the room. If you give me the silent treatment, I will go then and spend time with my family who enjoy my company and my communication. So you need to announce those consequences and enforce them. The other thing it's important to mention here with setting boundaries that you need to enforce those consequences every single time the manipulative behavior occurs. So you cannot bluff. You need to consistently act on your words. In your mind and heart, say no to manipulation and say no to pressure, no to control and abuse. And eventually, your manipulative partner should stop those manipulative tactics, but only after that tactic proves to be ineffective. So Also, absolutely do not negotiate with the manipulator. You cannot talk out the problem of such type of personality. Instead, you can use very short and clear statements, and you can keep your words very brief and to the point. I am not willing to discuss this topic anymore, or I have stated clearly what I will not accept, or when you are ready to respect my request, let me know. Also, never react when your boundary is violated, when your boundary is crossed. Only respond. You can expect your boundary to be violated over and over and over and over again, but you need to learn not to react. You need to learn not to shout, cry. You need to learn not to beg. Rather, respond by detaching yourself from a manipulator and allow that person to react without you reacting. Now, all these steps are not easy, but they are really necessary if you somehow want to stop that manipulative environment in your relationship. You can think of this period as comparable of having a surgery. Yes, it is a painful experience, but it provides the only hope for your mental, for your emotional and spiritual well-being. Be strong, be courageous. It is not an easy way, but it is really possible to stand up against any type of abuse and manipulation. Everything starts with you. You need to say bravely, enough is enough. I will not tolerate that anymore. You need to learn to start learning more about yourself, investing more in yourself, healing and setting those healthy boundaries to protect yourself. Well, if you would like to find out more and learn more how to practice different techniques to become more confident woman in your relationships and to stand up against abusive or manipulative partner, you can book a one-on-one coaching session with me or different coaching packages. More information on that is in the description below, and I want just to thank you for staying with me till the end. If you have not subscribed yet to my channel, please do, and also check my previous videos. All the best for you, and see you next time.